have a very special person in my show. His name is Professor Sunil Bajpai. Here is something about him. Professor Bajpai, welcome to my show. How do fossils form?
Well, as you know, fossils are mainly found in sedimentary rocks. Fossils form in a variety of ways, but most of them form when an animal dies in a watery environment or dies on land and then washed into a watery environment and get buried in sand or silt. The soft parts of the animal quickly decompose and only the hard parts stay behind. Over time, these hard parts get buried by sediment, which becomes a hard sedimentary rock. During the process of mineralization, various minerals seep through the bones or shells of the animals and make it harder. This process is known as permineralization, and it typically takes millions of years.
When did you get interested in paleontology?
How I got interested in paleontology? Well, I got interested in paleontology when I finished class 12th in India. Unfortunately, the level of awareness in children about paleontology and fossils is quite low. And to my mind, the major reason for this is the lack of big natural history museums of the type that you have in the US or Europe. But things are changing fast, and young children are now becoming more and more aware about the fossils and their importance.
Which places you visited for fossils? Did you find any dinosaur fossils?
Well, I visited a large number of localities in India for fossils of interest to me. I visited the Kutch and the Surat areas of Gujarat in the western India, where I found fossils of some of the earliest representatives of modern marine mammals such as whales and sea cows, and modern land mammals such as horses, primates, sheep, bats, etc. etc. In the Kutch region, we find some very spectacular fossils of early whales, including skulls and jaws and bones of hands and feet and backbone and endocranial casts. All these fossils represent an early stage in the evolution of whales and the transition of whales from land to sea. In the Kutch, in the Surat area of Gujarat, we found fossils of an early family of horses that we call Cambatheridae, and these fossils actually are some of the most primitive fossils in the evolution of horses. We also found some of the early primate fossils in Gujarat. For dinosaur fossils, we visited the central Indian city of Jabalpur and Dhar and Balasinore and Anjar, where we found hundreds of eggs of dinosaurs and some occasional teeth of theropod and the fragmentary bones of sauropod dinosaurs.
In India, how do we preserve fossils?
It's a matter of grave concern in India at present. One of the most important problems to my mind is the vandalism that is taking place in many of the fossil sites, especially those that have dinosaur fossils, because these localities attract a lot of public attention. Once the villagers close to these fossil sites realize that these fossils are sought after, they start visiting these localities and break the fossils and try to take them out of the rock and often sell them off for a very small price. Fortunately, this problem has been highlighted and there is a possibility of having a legislation in place that will prevent vandalism of many of these sites soon.
Which subjects should we study and later on in future become paleontologists?
Well, you need to study subjects like biology and chemistry. In biology, evolution is very important. So if you are interested in evolution, how different organisms originate and then evolve, then you have the makings of a paleontologist in the future. But you should also be interested in physical geography, the natural habitats and environments.
And to become a paleontologist in Fossils Day, what will you advise people like me?
Well, National Fossil Day is an annual event held to highlight the educational and scientific value of paleontology. My advice to young people is be aware of the fossil wealth of your area, your state, your country, and help in increasing awareness about the fossil wealth of your area and the country. It is our important duty to save our fossil wealth, from being destroyed by vandalism or other activities, including mining activities, which are responsible for the destruction of fossils to a large extent.
Thank you very much, Professor Bajpai. Did you learn something new today? Please like my video and subscribe to my channel. Bye friends, see you next week.